In a recent attempt to complete my Combiner Wars Bruticus, I bought Swindle. Swindle is a decent figure, and I must say that of all the Combaticons, Swindle is probably the most famous. He was a playable character in Fall of Cybertron for a few chapters, and had feature roles in the original cartoon and in the Transformers animated series, with good reason. His personality is well done, and comes across well in any adaptation of Swindle. So how does this deluxe fare? For starters, I didn't have high hopes for this figure when I first saw the designs, but now that I have him in hand, I love this figure to death. Starting in vehicle mode, it's easy to see why I like him so much. He's got molded detail everywhere, and aside from an obnoxious peg on the top, it's a good Jeep. Speaking of the top, there are two 5mm ports on either side of the Jeep mode, and a 5mm peg as well, so he can mount his gun in 3 different places. Personally, I like the middle configuration, but back to the Jeep mode though. This alt mode does suffer from a lack of paint, and I don't know if I mind this because of how detailed this Jeep mode is, but it is something that is worth noting. Also, his hands are totally visible, and there is no way anyone is getting in there and driving it. Not that he needs anyone to, because his wheels roll like a charm. For size comparison, Combiner Wars Blastoff, Brawl, and Onslaught. Needless to say, I'm impressed. The work Hasbro did to this alt mode is amazing, and since Swindle will spend most of his time as a leg for Bruticus, it's great that he has a good-looking alt mode to be a good-looking leg. Speaking of leg mode, remove the gun if it's mounted, and fold down the front part of the Jeep. Flip out a combiner peg from underneath Swindle, stand him up on an A16 to form a leg. It's a good-looking leg, nothing too special. It's definitely one of the better legs of the series, as the Jeep mode itself looks really good, and thus comes across well as a leg. He looks good on Bruticus, despite the fact that the yellow makes him stand out from the rest of the team, but I'm not sure if that's bad, because I like the coloring. Taking Swindle back into his Jeep mode, untab the hood and swing it up so that you can move his arms out of the way. Split and extend the legs, then lock the knees into place. Fold down the feet so that he can stand up, position his arms in their proper orientation, fold up the head, fold in the hood panel, and the transformation is complete. Except, he's missing something. Plug Swindle's gun into his arm, hands, or mount it into the hood. I like to mount it on the right arm in an homage to the original G1 model. It's not as big as it once was, but I guess Megatron can't have someone cramping his style. Swindle looks good in robot mode. The colors that aren't yellow pop, and in all the right ways. The 2 blue blotches on his chest are oddly reminiscent of his G1 toy. The head is nasty, however. It's black with a little bit of purple and light gray on the back. The facial expression is devoid of all emotion, and that really comes across in almost every pose I throw him in. But I digress. This figure doesn't need to have a strong head sculpt with a body like this. The hood panel is an eyesore on the back, but if you look at him from the front only, it's a good looking figure. His stature is good, and makes him look tough and sneaky at the same time. This is complemented by the articulation, which includes ball-jointed arms, legs, and head with a thigh and elbow swivel to complement the over 90-degree knee and elbow bend. His waist swivels, and he has an ankle tilt. All of this supports a wide range of poses and action sequences you can do with him. This is an overall great figure that I recommend picking up if he's missing from your collection. Not just for Bruticus, but for an amazing figure like this. Swindle is posable, playable, functionable, and isn't too complicated or dumbed down. This is an amazing deluxe class figure that I can't sing the praises of enough. He's got issues for certain, but he's got more good than bad. So if you can ever find him at a good price point, I recommend buying him. Anyway, this has been Grimlock, and I will see you in the next video.